I'm not going to say a single word about the Tennessee Titans record against the Indianapolis Colts because I was a punter, and there's no reason for me to talk about that. With that being said, we did not punt much against the Tennessee Titans, so you probably have no clue who I am to begin.
Look, I'm unstoppable. Forget your defense, nothing but an obstacle. Run it back, switch it up, call it audible. Serving up them Hail Marys till the game over with the showstopper. So how she gotta blow on it. I said I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll pass to my left while I'm looking to my right. Hit him right in the chest. It be looking like magic. Better give me the throne. I ain't talking about Patrick, but I rep my home. I'm never at the end of my zone. I'm bad to the bone. Eating up these pig skins like they chicharrones. And you a douche cabron. Mira, mira at the mirror on the wall. I'm the greatest of them all. They gon' put me in the hall. Your name is only written in a bathroom stall. Quit your stalling and make a play. My drive too long. Pop the clutch, I don't pump the brakes. I know what it takes to gain the muscle, get rugged. These butterfingers be fumbling, squash the scrimmage and rub it in Robitussin. How I give them concussion, they seeing double, they rushing and pass the shovel, the dirt and rubble, I bury them under it. Stay in your huddle and get 10 yards back, never turn your back. I'ma pull your flag, I go full contact, out punch, out kick like a shotgun.
My bad. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Welcome back. Welcome back to the HorseShoe Mob podcast, where we're discussing everything Colts. And you know what? We're not gonna slander the Titans because we don't want to kick some bums while they're down. But you know what? We are gonna kick some Patriots while they're down. So, but in the meantime, before we get started with that, make sure that you are tapping in, liking, commenting, sharing, all that good stuff. Because we're gonna go into some stuff tonight, but like I said, we'll make sure we get to that later on. Fellas, how we doing tonight?
Doing pretty good.
Well, unlike yourself, I am going to stand on the Titans because they kicked us while we were down last year. Them bums are 3-6. They're crying about their head coach, offensive line, secondary, offensive coordinator. They're crying like we did last year. So, yes. Up yours, Tennessee.
Well, yeah, not only that, but you also have to remember that this is a team that overreacted to Mayo Man Levis after 2 games, and meanwhile he got mollywopped, and all of a sudden, nothing was the same. But you know what? It's typical Titans. Very, very typical Titans. But you know what? We're gonna definitely get into that. In the meantime, before we go any further, we got to make sure that we're just introducing the guys. So we have with us Jose. I'm gonna say Josue Senor, depending on what language you speak it in. I'm not sure what it is in German, but you know what we have with the shot, Senor, everybody.
What's good, everybody? I want to send a shout out to my sister for having a first newborn yesterday, and whoever else had their newborn yesterday. I want to shout out to them too. But I'm a proud uncle today. So yeah, as yesterday.
And then we have with us the silent assassin, the man who is currently getting on VT's nerves on Twitter, Austin Cook, everybody.
What's up? I'm Austin.
Austin, no, you're not a cookie anymore. You're a villain cook or something like that. Villain.
Yeah, you're like a brownie or something now. Like there's just a little bit more oomph to you. Just like you have no idea. Right.
I'm in my evil era.
Uh-oh.
As opposed to when.
I don't know.
Because you just been cooking. You've been cooking, but now you're just cooking a little bit more blatantly now. I'm just like, Jesus. Jeez, that is craziness. And then I'm of course Chris Jackson. So yeah. But yeah, we got some things to discuss tonight. However, before we go any further, we do want to make sure that we mention the website, www.fanbattlesports.com, where you can go everything for your AFC South. I'm going to say media. You can see articles. You can see videos on there. You can see the news articles coming from Josh. I have one that I'm composing, so just be on the lookout for that. And yeah, just see past episodes and whatnot. But make sure you go to www.fanbattlesports.com. And without further ado, let's just go ahead and get right into it. We had a we had our first game in Germany, our first game in Germany versus of all teams the New England Patriots. Now, I mean, this was a game where, we had to be up a little bit early. Um it was a little bit rough, not gonna lie. Because normally Sunday I like to sleep in all the way until I have to get ready for church, but it is what it is. And then we have with us, oh, Harish Nukala,
Sorry.
aka Good
What's up,
VT.
guys? How's it going? Did we just get started? Am I just in time?
Yeah.
Yes, you are just in time.
What's up, guys?
Oh man, nothing, man. We just did our introductions, and then we're about to get into the game. But yeah, so just glad you got here. Glad we got here right in the nick of time. But yeah, so getting into this game, we heard many different things. We heard that if Bill Belichick lost this game, he was going to be out. We knew that this game was going to potentially be a make or break, because if you win the game, you're at 5-5, means you're at 500 heading into the bye, or you're at 4-6 heading into the bye, and this fan base would scream utter doom. But you know what, we're gonna just kind of just discuss the game a little bit, because there were some, even though it was a 10-6 barn burner, it was still a lot of things to discuss. So we're gonna start off. Josh, you go ahead, kick us off with what was happening during this game.
I think I found more excitement on Coach Twitter yesterday than I did in the game. Because the game, well, you said it was 10-6. It was like it was defense. The offense can't get going. We scored the only touchdown in the game, and we just kept stalling, three and out, turnovers. But our defense, second week in a row, play outstanding. This time you get a game ball to Dio for having a 3-sack game. You got 2 picks. We got one from Rodney Thomas and our boy Julian, another one for him.
Yeah.
It's what it was, a defensive game. It wasn't nothing excited to be other than beating the Patriots. It wasn't anything exciting on the field to watch. I mean, you saw Josh Down make an excellent catch on 3rd and 6 on our own 10-yard line. I can't remember, 10-yard line. Excellent catch. You seen, Alec Pierce make a nice catch over a defender. And just seeing plays here and there to move the chains, but it wasn't nothing exciting for me. I was just more impressed at beating the Patriots, because I mean, that's our driver, man. I mean, anytime you beat them, I don't care if you beat them by 1 or beat them by 2, it's a win. So it was just a ugly game, but we came, like you said, victorious at the end.
So then, and I'm going to just kind of direct this to Austin, only because of the fact that, we know, I believe it was 2-3 weeks ago, the headline was that the Colts were the only team in the league that managed to score 20 points a game. And I think ever since then, and I believe that was 20 points of offense or whatever it was, but it was 20 points of offense per game. And ever since then, we haven't gotten anywhere near there. I mean, we had 27 last week versus the Panthers, but that was because Kenny Moore had 2 picks, or 2 pick sixes. Let me not take that away from him, because that was 2 pick sixes. But, we see that there's been these trends. Now, like I said, I mean, are we looking at this game where the offense was just really – the offense was bad, or was it just like we're going like up against Bill Belichick, who was just like a guy who's just like a defensive-minded coach that knew exactly how to play things?
Yeah, I mean, like, it wasn't pretty, but I wouldn't say we have the offense is bad. I feel like there was a few times where Gardner Minshew was like calm and in the pocket, and he threw some really good passes. But then other times he was like running from his own shadow. Like, if he could just calm down in the pocket, I feel like our offense would be so much better. Because we saw flashes, like one throw, I think it was late in the game, to Michael Pittman, just a dart right to him, right. Like, he made some good plays, he made some bad plays. Sometimes he escapes the pocket well, and he should run, but he tries to be a hero and make a throw and either overthrows it or gets it picked off, like we saw on his only pick. I just feel like a lot of it is on Gardner Minshew.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, and I mean it I think we've seen it somebody on Twitter today and I can't remember who said it. So if you are hearing or seeing this, please forgive me. But they said it's just like Gardner Minshew would have been able to complete more passes if he wasn't in the pocket doing donuts. So yeah, it was definitely not a great showing from that. But Harish, I think I'm going to say shying away from the offense defensively. And I know Josh kind of spoke on it, but the defense actually showed up in a way that we haven't seen in a very, very long time. And what defensively was it like the Mac Jones effect, or was this team just kind of playing inspired because people were starting to see that this defense hasn't necessarily been playing that lights out front seven that they've been playing all along?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of things, right? I think Patriots offense is just bad, right? Mac Jones is a bust. But this defensive line is very good. I think
Yeah.
it's finally grown. DeForest Buckner is finally able to not be double teamed every play because you can't do it. I think Quiddy Play
Yeah.
made some good plays last week too.
Yeah.
As much of a hard time as we give Chris Ballard, we as in the four of us give Chris Ballard on this show. Some of the guys that he's picked up on the defensive line are playing really well. Dial, like Josh said,
Yeah.
with 3 sacks. These guys, Quiddy Pay had a couple of good plays. My guy Tyquan Lewis had a sack. Like the defensive line is playing really well. Now, if I think Ballard knew how to go get a cornerback, I think we'd be just fine. But he doesn't know that yet. We're still 6 years in. Cornerback's really hard to play. So we still don't know what's going on down there, right? It's a really hard position to play in the NFL. So we need like another 8 years to figure that out. But in the meantime, the defensive line is playing really well.
So I'm not letting you off the hook. I'm not letting you off the hook. If you really believe that you were going to say what you said just now, and I'm going to let you off the hook, I wouldn't be a friend if I wasn't going to hold you accountable for that BS that just came out of your mouth, because you have been on here stating out your mouth repeatedly how much Ballard has failed, how much he's done this with the team, and then all you're going to say is, "Yeah, we've been kind of hard on Ballard." No, we've been hard on Ballard. You have been like vibranium mixed with whatever metal Wolverine had in his claw, adamantium. You've been harder than that type of material mixed together. Okay. So the thing is, we're not just going to skip over the fact that you just gave him props, even though you never give him props at all. We're not doing that.
Screen share.
What do you mean?
Don't you dare! Don't you dare!
Wait, what do you guys?
Harish, you said yesterday. You said he should be fired.
He should be fired. But he's done well with the defensive line.
Oh my God.
Listen, this is like and we'll go back to the college game real quick because she got done with the Longhorn live stream. But it's just like Chris Ballard is the GM version of Jimbo Fisher. And it sounds like a crazy analogy, but think about it this way, right? Chris Ballard goes and gets all this talent, right? We'll say quote unquote talent. He hires this potato head coach who's, by the way, newsflash, I don't know if anybody of you seen, Frank Reich is still a potato head.
No,
Carolina down
100%.
Carolina's 1-8, and that's not a bad roster. That is not a 1-8 roster. Frank Reich.
I've been saying it.
It's. I mean, honestly, it's just like they could have done a lot more to put more around Bryce, but also they're doing a terrible time game planning with what they have. Because if we're being honest, and I hate to go ahead and say it on here, but you look at the Texans. Nobody on the Texans is a world beater, but they just have a scheme that allows everybody to be able to get open in a way where they're actually producing.
Yeah,
Like
it's almost like Slovic sets up, CJ Stroud for success. It's so wild.
Yeah,
It's weird.
Then Lakita said, "I'm ready for Ballard to go. Take Gus with you."
My friend, Lakita, I like you because I'm ready for Ballard to go too. Listen, take Chris Ballard with you. You know what? Make him director of scouting. I'll take it, and then go get Lewis Reddick, and then let's party. I think we'll be on the right track with that.
I also am a Lewis Reddick fan, so I'm not against that.
Love Lewis Reddick.
I like Ed Dodds.
I don't like Ed Dodds either. Take that guy too. That guy sucks too. Take him too.
Come on.
So honestly, listen, I will never say another word out of Chris Ballard if Brian Burns hits free agency and he signs him next season.
He's not going to. I'll tell you.
And so that's the reason why I never will.
Let's not give ourselves false hope here, right? Because some guy on Twitter earlier today was like, Chris Ballard's going to trade up and go get Marvin Harrison Jr. No, he's not.
No, he's not.
Chris Ballard's not.
No, he's not.
He's going to trade down, and he's going to go get like the 8th string quarterback at Iowa. Like,
because we all know that as soon as he says, "Hey, I'm looking to trade up X amount of spots, what are you going to need for that pick?" And then they're going to say, "I need your first this year, and I need a first next year." You're just like, okay, well, we're not going to give you a first next year. How about a first this year, second next year, and like a fourth? You know what? Right. No, we would need your first this year. We would need your third, and we would need your sixth. And then as soon as they say sixth round, he says sixth round, no deal, because that is Chris Ballard's bread and butter. Anything past round 4, he covets. Like it's the whatever you find at the end of an Indiana Jones movie. Like it's literally like he loves those 5th, 6th, and 7th round picks. Now, I will say 7th rounder Jalen Jones actually looks pretty damn good.
I agree.
But I don't want 7th rounder Jalen Jones when we could have had like 3rd rounder or somebody else.
Yeah, but the thing is, Josh Downs was a 3rd rounder.
Yeah, I know. I'm talking like DB wise. I'm not.
DB wise, yeah.
I love Josh Downs. I've been a fan of the pick since day one.
Yeah,
he's better than Tank Dell.
Oh man, listen, you're going to make Evil Harish lose it.
Evil Harish is like actively adding us right now as we speak.
Yes.
Jesus Christ, Tank Dell has had one good. Tank Dell's on my fantasy team. He's had one good game all year.
All of you guys are bad. All you guys are bad because we are on this show and we're not from Indiana.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
It doesn't. And can I just say, it doesn't matter if it does not matter if you're an Indianimal or not. You don't have to be an Indianimal in order to root for the Colts. So let's just say that. All right. But then Lakeith said we do have some gems. Juju, Downs, Pierce. I was with
Pierce
you until you said Pierce. I was with you until you said Pierce. Pierce is good for one great catch per game. And he has, it's just not, it's not happening. And it's just like,
I'm done with Alec Pierce. Can we go find another? You know who I think we should get in the draft, who I don't think we will get? Keon Coleman. Give me Keon Coleman.
Malik Neighbor.
There's a lot of guys. Malik Neighbors, Keon Coleman, Rona Dusney. Like, there's a lot of guys you can go get.
Egbuka
Bukum in the 4th round and 3rd round. Like, and I'm not joking about that. Like, the wide receiver
we can bring back Philip Dorsett.
No, man, we should go get T.Y. Hilton.
All right, moving on. I'm not entertaining your bullshit tonight. We're not doing this. Like, what are we? No, we're not doing this. You're out of your mind. Matter of fact, you're muted for 5 minutes. We're not doing this. You are muted for 5 minutes. We're not doing this. I don't have time for this nonsense. So now
he is a first-round pick.
Yeah. Okay. Now you're muted too. You know what? We're just gonna before tonight is over. I'll be the only one on here that is audible and speaking other than Harish. So you know what, Harish? Do you have any hot takes?
For what? Just in general?
Anything that will make me mute you.
Oh, that'll make you mute. See, I always think along the edge of the lane. I never ever cross over the lane.
Yeah.
Because I don't like to get into car wrecks.
Hey, wait. She says I'm a Longhorns fan, and even though he just tore his ACL, I love to get Jonathan Brooks on the team.
Since we're talking about it. By the way, Lakita, since you're a Longhorn fan, please follow our other Longhorn podcast, Longhorn Fan Battle, where my guy and myself, Tim Wayne, are on every Thursday. Yeah. So here's the thing about Jonathan Brooks, and I'm starting to talk to some guys there with the Orange Bloods, and they have John Harris on their show, who's a Texans. Who is a Texans beat writer, one of the bigger guys for the Houston Texans. Listen, Jonathan Brooks is not going to be the fastest guy in the field. Jonathan Brooks is not going to be, he's no Bijan Robinson, but Jonathan Brooks is a darn good football player. And even though he just tore his ACL, I still think Jonathan Brooks is a second or third round pick. ACL tears are fixed,
Yeah. With modern medicine, it's no longer a 12-month period. Like now you have guys who are returning in like 7 to 8 months. I think Julian Blackmon was like the big one. He tore his ACL in January in his last college game, and then he was playing by September.
Exactly. So ACLs aren't as big. I mean, heck, even Achilles, it sounds like they're getting better in modern medicine. Aaron Rodgers just said he's coming back in mid-December.
Yeah. And I mean that's 3 months. So
yeah, that's crazy. So I do think we're getting better. I think Jonathan Brooks is going to be fine. I don't think he fits our system. I think Jonathan Brooks, and you guys will probably hate me say this, and I kind of agree with what Sean Harris, again, Texans guy. I think Jonathan Brooks, actually thinking about what the Texans are doing, what they're trying to do, I think he fits great with the Texans. I think he's the best running back in the nation. He's a guy that's a very sound runner. He's not flashy. He's going to look for his holes. He's a very physical runner. Big guy. But yeah, I think Jonathan Brooks, with having JT, now a guy that I would love for Texas to go get, a guy I would like for Indy to go get in the draft, who I don't think we will get, is Jatavian Sanders. I think Jatavian Sanders and a Shane Steichen offense would be amazing. An offense that uses a lot of tight ends. Jatavian Sanders, if you're talking about like Travis Kelce screen type games, you know how they use him in tight end screens and stuff. Yeah. Jatavian Sanders would be perfect for this offense. And then you can use Jelani Woods as your big guy, short yardage, get those first downs, end zone kind of guy. JT would be awesome. JT2 would be great. I would love to have Jatavian Sanders. Again, I don't think it'll happen, but I'd love to have him.
Okay. And so now just moving on, right? Because now we're going to be kind of like, we see where this team is. So this team is a 5-5 team. So we're at 500. There are 7 games to go. Now, realistically, looking at the schedule, looking at where we've been thus far, we have an extra week for people to rest. Might be getting Brent's back after the break. I'm not sure what Jelani Woods' thing is, but he might be
so weird.
Yeah, it's really strange what's going on with Jelani Woods, but you have an extra week for people to get healthy. So assuming you have an extra week for Shaq to apparently just still be on the road to recovery, doing what he needs to do to get back to full form. So let's just see. The last 7 games for Indy as of right now are, let's take a look. So the last 7 games are going to be so it's going to be the Buccaneers, Titans, Bengals, Steelers, Falcons, Raiders, and Texans. I believe is going to be at home.
Yep.
So at this point, seeing where the team is at, knowing that you have an extra week to kind of get things together, get guys healthy. If Juju Brents is inserted back into this defense, how far can this team potentially go with the remaining schedule if we're able to get some semblance of health together? And anybody can jump in on this one.
I had this team with Anthony Richardson really doing well the back half of the schedule.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that changes. Like, honestly, if you look at the schedule, all these teams are for the most part, 80% of the schedule is very winnable the rest of the way, right? Tampa sucks. Tennessee sucks. Atlanta's not very good. The Raiders are an eyesore. I think those 4 wins you could probably chalk up as wins. right?
Yeah.
I mean, the Bengals aren't playing great right
The
now.
Bengals
I'm
aren't
not
playing
saying I'm not saying we
great.
beat them, but
yeah. Again, with our
Like it's-
defense, you could go in and play very well.
yeah.
And you're in Cincinnati, which makes it a little bit tougher. It
Mhm.
really comes down to Joe Burrow and how this defense plays. Pittsburgh is also a crapshoot. You never know what Kenny Pickett you're going to get,
Yeah, they always
Yeah,
play
this is
good
true.
against us for some reason.
and they love playing in Indy too. So, I mean, I think I had us like 6-2 the back half of the schedule when we did our preseason picks. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility. No, is it 6-2? Is that right? 1, 2.
Yeah, you had 6-2. So basically, so the way that they had everything set up with these with the picks, we had Austin saying that we were going to be 6-4. So he's one game off on that. Josh had us at 6-4 also. I had us. I also had us at 6-4.
I was
So
the naysayer.
Yeah, you were. So you had us. You had us at 2-8.
Yeah,
Yeah, you had us at 2-8.
I was the closest.
No, you weren't. No, you weren't. You're the furthest away. Like, what are you talking about here?
I was only 3 games behind.
Only 3 games, but we're all off by a game. But the thing is, I think it was also in no particular order. We didn't necessarily foresee Anthony Richardson, but I mean, Shane Steichen has actually been calling some good games, and also this defense in certain games have also stepped up. Now, the thing is, with being one game off with Gardner Minshew right now, right? All these teams that we see, Buccaneers, we don't know exactly what they're going to be doing. We do know that Baker can be a crapshoot, but we also know the Buccaneers defense can be pretty good. The Titans right now are dealing with Mailman Levis, and he's no longer immortal in the eyes of Titans fans everywhere. I mean, based on this schedule, what does the rest of this season look like for us, and are the playoffs possible?
I mean, it's an easy schedule. I do think the playoffs are possible just because it is easy. I mean, I could see us winning 10 games, and like a lot of people before the season would have called me crazy if I said that, but I think it's possible.
Joshua Harish, what you got?
I don't know, man. I don't know if we can get that last spot, man. Especially if we're having to fight with the Texans, who are playing really well, and they got an easy schedule as well. So it's gonna be very tough for us to win those games go down the stretch. All those games are winnable, like you said. Right now, we got us one game off from our predictions. The Buccaneers. It seemed like the last couple of meetings we played, we lost. By some dumb plays that caused us to lose a game. Raiders game, either way, we win sometime, we lose, no matter who's behind center. Tennessee game, I mean, we don't know. I mean, it's in Tennessee. We don't know what could happen. Mayo can go off again. Mayo could be like he was past 2 weeks. We don't know. The fan base wants the team to tank. So we don't know what would happen, come from that. Who else you said? Cincinnati. Man, I'm surprised they're playing bad. But to answer your question, I mean, we could, man. I mean, I don't know, man. Buffalo, look how Buffalo looked yesterday. I mean, I don't know.
Well, that's a story for another day. So that's a story for another day, because we can make a whole episode out of just Buffalo alone. So let's just not.
Yeah.
No,
don't
I'm
talk about Chris's favorite quarterback, Josh Allen.
No, I'm not doing it. I'm just saying that with them on a downward spiral, I mean, it's a possibility, man. I don't know, man. My expectation has always been between 6 and 8 wins. So I don't know if 8 wins get us there. I'll be okay.
By the way, you may not hear Harish because he's now muted as well. So we're gonna don't you wish that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. All right. But so then Austin, I think I might not have heard it, but what do you have the record being for the rest of the season?
Like the last
7 games.
games.
Yes.
I'll say 5-2.
Okay, so you think that this team is going to go 10-7? Okay. What about you, Josh?
I still got 8 wins, man.
8-9. Okay. What about you, Harish?
Man, I want to say 5-2 so bad. If we had Anthony Richardson, I think this team would go 6-1 to end this season.
Oh,
but we don't. Right? That's just our reality. I think the Texans are going to come back down to earth.
Yeah.
And I think we go 4-3. Right? And I think that last game is going to come down to the last wild card spot. And whoever wins that Texans Colts game will get that 7th spot. I think that's how close it is.
Yeah.
I was just looking at the Texans schedule because when it comes to playoff spots, you always want to know who. Actually, you know what? The Texans play a bunch of nobodies the rest of the way too. They play the Cardinals, they play the Jaguars, they play the Broncos. Never mind, we're not making the playoffs. The Texans
that's what I said. They schedule way easier than ours. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
so even if we went 5-2 or 4-3, Texans might go 6-1 because CJ Stroud's the best quarterback in that draft, as I've been saying for about a year.
Well, I think we also have to account for the Texans have to go to a bunch of places, and like I said, you have 9. They've played 9 games, so they've played a little over half of their schedule thus far. Now the thing is, we can look at the other teams, but we also kind of have to look at but we have to look at the Texans too, because the Texans are going into a bunch of games with teams where, like I said, a team like the Broncos, team like the Jets, the Broncos kind of have figured out what it is. I think their one big glaring, whoopsie moment was giving up 70 to the Dolphins. But I mean, outside of that, it's just even looking at, how they played the Bills, looking at their last 2-3 games, that defense has come on as of recent. And then also you have to play against the Browns. The Browns defensively, I mean, yeah, we can say that they'll be able to just do great things, but Myles Garrett has been destroying everybody.
Yeah.
And I mean, we can say, okay, well, he has a bunch of cakewalks, but I mean, it's really not, especially if you have teams that are going to be in the hunt potentially. The Jets aren't really a bad team, but they're also not a good team, and they're a mid team that's looking to make a statement against somebody, and I think that could end up being that Texans or against the Texans per se. But also, one outlying factor that we're not looking at is where the Jaguars are right now.
Yeah.
Because the Jaguars, I mean, they were the consensus repeat division winners, and now they're looking like they're going to be limping to the end of the season, not because of injury, but just because everything just kind of seems to be falling apart in a way where it's just not looking good for them.
You mean the Jaguars are jagging right now?
They're jagging off. They're jagging off right now.
Yeah, that.
And I mean, they're going to have to play. They have the Bengals, they have the Browns, they have the Ravens, Buccaneers, all in a 4-game stretch.
Yeah, that's pretty tough. And as you get into December, some of these places they have to go to Carolina. It's cold. They have to go to Baltimore. It's cold. They have to go to Cincinnati. It's cold.
Yeah. Actually, so for the rest of the season.
Oh, sorry, I reversed that.
Yeah, for the rest of the season, they're going to be playing at Houston Dome. They're playing at home versus the Bengals, at Cleveland, home versus the Ravens, at Tampa Bay, which isn't that bad, and then they have at Titans to end the season. So I mean, so the thing, and this is crazy to say, especially now, but the division isn't off limits to anybody except the Titans maybe right now.
That's fair.
And like I said, we've seen stuff like this happen before where teams were in the mix. Now, once again, it's still a long season. We're still almost through the season, but I'm gonna say 5-5, being 5-5, having a bye right now, and then having the rest of the schedule the way that it is, there's no reason why the Colts wouldn't be in the mix to potentially go ahead and make a run. Now, The only reason why I say 8-9, 9-8 is probably a little bit more realistic is because you can make a run to go to the playoffs, but getting to the playoffs and actually like performing in the playoffs are two very different things.
Oh yeah, it's a different
And
beast.
and that's why I'm kind of on the fence about I don't want to lose out because guess what? We are already better than we were last season. We
Yep.
already we're 10 games into the season and we have one more win than we did last year. Now I don't foresee us going 0-7 at all in the slightest.
No.
If we go 8-9, 9-8, then this season will have proven to be a success. Now, and
Yes.
the reason why I say success is because of the fact that I don't think anybody in this fan base was screaming Super Bowl by any stretch of the imagination. But I can only speak for me when I say when we said Shane Steichen's coming in, let this happen. I said 6 wins because 6 wins would still be 2 more than we had last season, which would be considerably better than it was. You have the O-line performing at a high rate. They're scoring top 3, top 5, or we've had an O-lineman score top 3, top 5 in their respective categories. And mind you, it's been different ones. Even Will Fries, who I was never really high on, but now it's just like, okay, this scheme actually has us, moving. You have Michael Pittman Jr. out there performing much to Harish's chagrin. You have Josh Downs out there doing things that he's not supposed to do. You have Alec Pierce out there not doing the things that he's supposed to do, but still, now you see like this is an offense with Gardner Minshew, who is by no means a guy who has a big arm, a guy who, can be mobile outside of doing donuts in the pocket. So this team honestly is in great position. And then on top of that, you bring back AR next year, who's going to be probably our best weapon. And, like I said, 5-5 with this team with Gardner Minshew already means that we're in a really, really good spot.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I would agree.
So if we're being honest, I want to say 8-9 or 9-8, somewhere around there. However, if this team was to make the playoffs, I don't see us getting past the wild card depending on who we play. But if this team was to make the playoffs, then you're going to have to let Ballard go for another year.
I hope we go like 2-5.
And so we have one like major question, and then we're gonna roll up out of here. What will change about this team after the bye? And you can just say, you could be broad, you could say offense, you could say defense, or you could just speak to specifics. What is going to change about this team after the bye?
I'm gonna say JT is gonna be like a top running back.
Why are you laughing?
I want Sam to go out there and run the ball. Why? Leslie, the season's already a success. Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Sorry, Austin. Didn't mean to cut you off, but go ahead.
No, you're good. I was just saying, I think JT's going to come out and just start putting up like top running back numbers.
Okay. What about you, Harish?
Can we change the question to what do I want to see change after the bye?
Sure. That's fine.
All right. I'm going to do this real quick. Oh, cool. That's what I want. This is what I want. I want this. I want Sam to go out there, and I want Shane to create a package because I think he's able to, and I think he's been able to do it. And it sounds funny, right? And it sounds like I'm actually being totally serious. You could go create some sort of red zone short yardage package for Sam, and let this guy just go, run people over or try to run people over. I'm thinking like what he did with Jalen Hurts with the because look, I would even with the tush push, I would not trust Gardner Minshew in a situation like that. But Sam, Bam Bam Sam, you could totally do something like that, and you can even create some sort of wrinkle out of that where Sam is, running the ball in some sort of obscure way. It's not something you would use all the time, but very situationally. I think using Sam to his advantage, I think might put some wrinkles in there.
Could be.
Could it be
Could
like
be.
a Taysom Hill?
Yeah. Why not? Why not?
Okay. And Leslie says, Chris is here for 5 more years. Believe in Ballard. And then moving on to Josh.
Yeah.
What about you, Josh?
I don't think anything would change. I think everything would be the same. I don't think Shane changes how he call plays, and how the players execute them. Unless they see there's a chance of winning the division or make a playoff run. I think everything's still the same on offense. Maybe defense, they may make some changes, meaning get Shaq involved more because he's been whining the past couple of weeks about not getting many snaps, not playing on third downs. I mean, stuff like this. So maybe we may see more of him. I feel like he's been jealous because Zaire has been on the tear, and he's not liking that. But players are selfish. That's what they do. They see other people doing well, and they want to be a part of it. And maybe their body can't do it. I'm not saying he's not healthy. I don't know what's going on. They're maybe hiding something from us, but we may see more of him in the back end. May see a better secondary than we see in the first 10. Man, we got to, because that's just. I mean,
yeah.
First game out the
Juju
bye
back's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, first game after the bye is against two receivers that it's tough to defend in Evans and Godwin. So we gotta get that sorted up now, prior to the game.
Well, you also have an inspired Daryl Baker after he had a child.
Yeah, we should go out to get Jack Jones or something like that. I don't trust Daryl Baker.
I'm sorry, Austin. I can't hear you laughing right now.
He can be very inspired, and I'm glad for him. I have zero faith in that guy. I'm sorry.
I'm just not. I'm not there. I'm not there when it comes to the Daryl Baker hype anymore because of the fact that it is absolutely ridiculous that we just continue to have to deal with that. I will be very happy when Juju's back. I think Jalen Jones has kind of jumped the order in terms of CBs with him being able to work his way into those spots. I think honestly, having those taller, rangier guys like Jalen Jones and Juju are going to do wonders, especially with Kenny Moore, because once they get a good feel for the game and they're able to really just contribute, then you can put Kenny back at that nickel spot, at that slot corner spot. And I mean, this defense will be able to be as dominant as we believe it to be. But I mean, honestly, I just think this team will be healthier. This team will be a lot better moving forward. I think also you're probably going to see some new stuff out the playbook because, there's no way in hell Gardner Minshew is going to be throwing the ball 40 times a game. But we also know that this defense is also, when healthy, going to wreak havoc, especially on, the schedule coming up, because if we're looking at this schedule coming up, all these O-lines are terrible. Every single O-line we're going to be going up against is terrible. So we have the perfect opportunity to just close out and be fantastic. I mean, you're dealing with teams where it's just like with the Raiders. I think by then, I love what Antonio Pierce is doing with that team after Josh McFire's trash ass got fired. So we're going to see some different things. But to me, honestly, they're still the Raiders. So, yeah. Leslie says, cut Tony Brown.
Oh, yes, please.
Okay. Don't
teamer.
Don't cut him, but keep him for special teams. However, he doesn't get to see a snap on defense, if we're being honest. So yeah, let's just go with that. But yeah, so I mean that's where we're at right now. Like I said, this upcoming week we have a bye week, so we're gonna be watching everybody else. Hopefully, we're gonna get the chance to just laugh at some folks. And yeah, I mean may every team in this division lose their games. So then we are actually going to be back in the mix with everything. And yeah, so with that being said, guys, where can the people find you on social media?
You can find me on Twitter at CookieAustin2.
Cookie Brownie now. Cookie Brownie Austin too. Harish, where can the people find you on social media?
Find me at the Uncle Gandhi, and then of course, find me Thursdays on the Longhorn Fan Battle podcast, and you can find me on Mondays sometimes on the ASC South Fan Battle podcast.
All right, you can find him on Twitter, of course, being good VT. And then he said, "Go Tennessee, beat the Jags." I'm not gonna root for either of them. I hope it ends in a tie.
Oh, but a tie would be awesome.
Yo, I hope it ends in a tie. If it ends in a tie, my soul will be happy. Like that would be a fantastic thing. So yes. All right, and then Josh, where can the people find you on social media?
I first want to add that we have a generation quarterback. His quarterback, our sort of quarterback right now has the same numbers as Trevor Lawrence. So our guy is generational. So I'm loving this. He wasn't a first round pick. He wasn't a first round pick, but
generational talent.
No,
yeah, he's generational talent, man. So we got two good quarterbacks.
We have two generational talents.
Yeah, I mean, only team to do it. Only team in the division do that. Yeah. But you can find me on Twitter pissing off the Jags for saying that, and you can find me on Twitter at official Josh Senior.
If there's any Jags fans watching this, they are going to throw rats in the air so quickly. It's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. But you can.
Did they talk about Trevor Lawrence on the AFC South Fan Battle this week? I haven't.
Yes, we did.
Yet.
Yeah, we did.
God.
We did.
And
you know what? It's so. The thing is, how Jags fans are. You know that when things are great, then everybody's just great, and you know that when things are bad, they're just like, well, we suck again. So yeah, right now it's just like they're a lot less hopeful than they were to the beginning of the year. So that brought a smile to my face. So yes,
I'm just really happy that what's his name? Tony Anthony. What's his name? The guy.
Ammo.
Ammo. I'm just glad he wasn't on the show yesterday.
Yeah,
because
but you know what?
That would have not been good for him.
So Josh, not Colts Josh, but Jaguars Josh, came up with a hot take that we're not going to get into on here, but he said in so many words that Houston rap sucks.
Yeah, we could probably just end the show.
Yeah. So with that being said, you can find me on Twitter as CJ Colts fan. Find us on Facebook, HorseShoe Mob Podcast. Yes, and make sure that you are subscribing to the YouTube. It's HorseShoe Mob on YouTube, so make sure you look it up. You can see all our past episodes. And as always, please remember that Sam